All right. I had to turn the mic up this time so I wouldn't forget, and I'll turn the music down a little bit. How's everyone doing today? Happy Tuesday on the morning of this day. I almost said it backwards. But anyway, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. It's, as I look in the news of today, I noticed there's a bunch of primaries going on in several states. And I haven't necessarily spent a lot of time talking about the primaries. Oh, that's weird. That's actually in that music. It's not a very good drum line. I don't like that. Anyway, so there's a couple of days that are basically making the trending topics. And so we'll talk about that. And maybe a couple other things that are in the news. You know me. I just like to keep up on the stuff that's the most current. So we'll do that. How does that sound? Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
All right, stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel. It is Tuesday, the 16th of August, 2022, and I've already got the weekend on my mind. Why? I don't know, because Lady Boomer and I be doing stuff every weekend lately, and it's fine. It's good. We have fun. We enjoy ourselves. We have It's a lot of fun, and this weekend we're going to go to her cousin's house, and up in Pequot Lakes, Minnesota. Very, north up in the Lakes Resort area. He moved up there. He and his wife sold all their stuff and moved up to there permanently. So they got a house up there, and they got a camper spot there on one of the great resorts. I think it's Breezy Point. I can't remember the name. But anyway, so we're going to go up and go fishing and chill and grill and go to Wienerpalooza. Did I tell you about Wienerpalooza? Wienerpalooza. So something big that happens in this part of the country are meat raffles at like American Legions and certain bars and whatnot. And so, I don't know what the thing is about meat raffles that, you just you're going to the Legion, you go to the bar, and they raffle off meat. Just sometimes it's, steak, sometimes it's chops, sometimes it's, fish or whatever. They have meat raffles, and I don't know and everyone around here loves meat raffles. Well, at a bar called Lucky's in Pequot Lakes, Minnesota, they have what they have. They call it Wienerpalooza. And it's basically just a meat raffle full of all kinds of sausages and hot dogs, sausages, whatever, various kinds of wieners. Yes. And, but they also, for whatever reason, this is a big event. Like, this bar gets packed. We were up there last year for it by accident. We were at the bar, and they had special t-shirts for Wienerpalooza, and they had wiener throwing contests and things like that. There was all kinds of activities, just fun time, and everyone was getting into it. And it's basically an excuse to drink beer and play the meat raffle, kind of like it's like the meat raffle lottery. I don't know, it was fun when we did it last year, so we're gonna do it again. But also we're gonna probably go fishing and do other stuff that you do in northern Minnesota, because that's what you do here. So anyway, so that's but I'm getting pumped up for Wiener Palooza. I just am. I'm already talking about it on Tuesday. All right, so that's and it's the jokes write themselves, I realize, but it is what it is. Let's say good morning and get this started, because I want to talk about a couple primary races that are happening today that you're probably already hearing about. But a lot of people are going to be talking about this one because it's the big one that everyone's going to be talking about. We'll get to it. But let's say good morning to everybody. First in the chat today is our good friend, Advocate Stably, the Devil's Advocate, who gets the bell. Thank you, sir, for being here. Also, good morning to Ginny Das Hotep, a friend that I got to meet this last weekend. I had a great time hanging out with Jimmy at HotepCon in Las Vegas. Also, good morning, Simon and Bull Nation, Simon Wolfwood, Gunfox61, our fantastic administrator of the Discord server. Good morning also to Mike Savage, Blarg, Hate Camel, one of the original viewers of the Morning Night Live. What's up? Good morning, Tadashi Shinhao, our friend from Russia. What's up? Good morning also to I said Simon already. Simon's already here. I got to scroll down a little bit. Hello, Aaron Meredith. What's up? Chicago Mike's in the house. My favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies here. Let's see. Rick Ashbringer is here. Nice to see you, Rick. Select a boy. Yeah, boy. Is here. Jethro Hetero, Man Squatch, and people are rolling in slowly. I'm probably gonna start setting these up the night before again, just so people can get notifications. Because I know when I the only reason I was setting things up just before the show is because I wanted to have a very fair opportunity for anyone to get the bell, the first person bell, the first, and But now I want to make sure we get more people here earlier. Although people are rolling in pretty fast. It's pretty good. The notification thing must be working. Oh, Tyre Alexander's in the house, too. Who says penis. And then down here, yo, family, how is everyone? So everyone say hi to Tyre. I'll be adding the 3 to YouTube today. Wait, what gunbox would you just say there? Wait, let me scroll up and figure out what you're talking about here. Oh, no, Mike, yep. Wait, what? What? I don't know what. It is amazing how many fully vaxxed people of rank are getting full. Oh, yeah, that's the breaking news. That's the breaking news today. Let's just go to the breaking news. Let's just get into this. I should have, it is the top topic today. It's not the top topic because I'm going to talk about women in politics, but technically this person is a woman in politics. What happened there? What happened to okay, hang on. Oh, these got out of order, that's why. All right, so the White House has made an announcement this morning. I don't know what time this was, August 16th, 2022. It's a very sad day in America. Well, it's not sad. I think she'll just be just fine because, there's a line that they like to say. But First Lady Jill Biden has come down with the coof. White House announced this morning for immediate release statement from the First Lady's communication director, Elizabeth Alexander. After testing negative for Stupid-19 on Monday during her regular testing cadence, the First Lady began to develop cold-like symptoms. Late in the evening, she tested negative again on a rapid antigen test, but a PCR test came back positive. The First Lady has the coof. First Lady is double. But they want to make sure they use the line. Say the lines, say the words. Yes, that is Dr. Joe Biden to me. Yes, she, in fact, if you asked Whoopi Goldberg, she would have made a fine Surgeon General because she's one of the finest doctors on the planet. Y'all remember that? When Whoopi Goldberg was talking about that she should be they should make her the Surgeon General. She has an ED. She has a PhD, basically what the equivalent to a PhD in education. But Apparently, people in education who have PhDs are also addressed as doctor. In fact, my principal at high school, Dr. Moeller, we called him Dr. Moeller, Doc Moeller. And Dr. Moeller was a great principal for high school, by the way. Not that you would have known, but he was. Papa Hotep, what's up? Nice to see you in the chat. And also Lord Stanhope, nice to see you in the chat. What's up? Anyway, so they continue. She has been now, here's the line that they must repeat whenever somebody of significance gets the coof, the stupid 19, the Chinese sniffles, or, you know, Chinese lung aids, whatever you want to call it.
China is asshole.
The First Lady is double vaccinated, twice boosted, and only experiencing mild symptoms. She has been prescribed a course of Paxlovid, whatever that shit is that Pfizer came out with to make more money. And following CDC guidance. Really, what's the CDC guidance on getting stupid 19? You know what it was when I got it? Now I had stupid 19. Reacciona Puerto Rico is in the hizzo. Hello, my friend. You know what they did when I got the stupid 19? Because look. Oh, wait, let me finish this. The following CDC guidance will isolate from others for at least 5 days. Close contacts of the First Lady have been notified. She is currently staying at a I was gonna do it. I was gonna say Holiday Inn Express, so she will be flying by on her own will tomorrow. No, she's staying at a private residence in South Carolina, and will return home after she receives 2 consecutive negative stupid 19 tests. So the reason she's, I think she's in South Carolina because they were on vacation in South Carolina. I don't know why they have vacation in South Carolina. I mean, well, I suppose it doesn't matter. Wherever they want a vacation, they can. But the line they had to say, well, she's double vaccinated, twice boosted, so she will have mild symptoms. Well, la-ti-da-di-da-da. I still say, hang on, let me fix this so you can see what the hell I'm doing. Because I do got my cup of reparation, and I still say, resist fascism. So, pure bloods unite. And anyway, so let's see. Oh, now there are some interesting questions under this. Oh, by the way, apparently they've also announced that the President of the United States tested negative Tuesday morning and will mask indoors. Well, lucky us. I got a buzzer and a horn for that one. Now, a couple interesting comments on this. One, will the first family, especially Hunter, get the monkeypox vax? That's a valid question. I'm wondering myself. I think Hunter needs to get vaccinated for just about every possibility, if you know what I'm saying. Let's see. Unless you're walking around in a hazmat suit, you might as well drop the precautions. Yeah, you remember? Now, do you remember? Just a couple of days ago, the CDC said, well, you know, the people who are unvaxxed can just drop precautions and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Why does he need to? He tested negative, got him. He's triple, quadruple vaxxed, and he just had the coof. What are the chances of him getting it again? I don't know, man. That's wild. The commie cough. That's funny, too. The Wu flu or Kung flu, that's faves. Yeah, you know, you like that Chinese lung aids, huh? Papa Hotep. Yeah, you know. Anyway, so let's see. Oh, I see. They did that thing where they put some other unrelated topic down here. So anyway, and so this is CNN is also reporting on this, and let's see what this is CNN says. First Lady Jill Biden tests positive. Oh, now look what CNN did. Who said it? Was it Avocaz Diabli? Look what CNN did here. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden tests positive for stupid 19. Dr. Jill Biden. Now, you know what? I'm curious. I'll check after I read this article because I want to see how they present this. That's the word. How they present this. Hunter's immune to everything. He's been exposed to everything under the sun. Bazinga. Yeah, you know, You're probably right, Reacciona. Reacciona. I'm just going to call you the same thing that what is it? Uncle Hotep calls you reaction. So I'm going to call you reaction, but I'm going to say Reacciona with the accent and everything. I hope that sounds good. All right. First lady, Dr. Jill Biden, boards a plane. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Has tested positive for COVID-19 and is experiencing mild symptoms, her spokesman said Tuesday. Oh, that's it. So I saw this immediately as it broke at, well, that's 9:37 Eastern time. Updated. Oh, this is updated 9:37 because I saw this 6 seconds after CNN tweeted this, and then the White House statement came out later. So this must be before they've actually updated the article. Well, let's refresh this and see if something happens. Here we go. We're gonna refresh this. Maybe they'll get rid of the doctor. Doctor, there's nothing I can take. I said, doctor, to relieve this belly ache. I said, doctor. All right, let's see. Oh my. Well, while I'm waiting for this to refresh, we have our first sponsor of the day at Chicago Mike. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. Should we have music for the super chats today? Yeah, let's do. It's what's my mood today? I have 80s pop, so everything's gonna have a little bit of an 80s pop vibe. What the hell's going on here? Where did all this stuff go? There we go. Let's try. Oh, that's weird. Let's try this. It'll be a short one, but here we go. Maybe play. What the hell's going on here? I'm embarrassed. This ain't working. It is not working. Click. I'm clicking. Well, thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show and your generous big bullet. There we go. That's kind of 80s sounding, isn't it? Thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show, who says, if Dr. Biden is just as qualified to be the Surgeon General because she has a doctor in her name, then we have Doctor Who? Yeah, I think Doctor Who would make a great Surgeon General. Thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show. All right, stop the music. All right, Dr. Jill Biden tests positive for stupid 19. Oh, they have the art. See, now look at this. They have the entire article now. Let's read the article because I want to see how they treat Dr. Jill Biden. First lady, Dr. Jill Biden has tested positive for stupid 19 and is experiencing mild symptoms, her spokesman said Tuesday. After testing for COVID-19 on Monday during her regular testing cadence, the First Lady began to develop... Oh, I just read that shit. It's just right there on the White House thing. Let me see if there's anything new in this article. But yes, the First Lady, who is double boosted and vaccinated and is taking Paxlovid, whatever, Pfizer's antiviral drug, according to Alexander, who told CNN that Biden received her second booster shot in April. Oh, thank God. By the way, I have no ill will towards Jill Biden. I just think her husband's a dolt. Anyway, a person close to the First Lady told CNN Tuesday morning that Jill Biden is, quote, feeling good. I feel good. And has common cold-like symptoms. She must have that new version of the stupid 19. The First Lady is 71 years old, making her the oldest sitting First Lady in modern history. Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares about that. She looks good for 71, though. For 71. She exercises several times a week, taking classes at local bar gyms. This is the first time she's had stupid 19, according to Alexander. Alexander's her spokesman. What's her spokesperson's name? Something Alexander, obviously. Elizabeth Alexander. Yes, thank you, Elizabeth Alexander. She's the First Lady is currently in Kyle Island, South Carolina, with President Joe Biden, who is due to return Wednesday for a bill signing later Tuesday. Yes, he's gonna come home and sign that. What's that called? The Inflation Reduction Act, which is really just watered down Green New Deal bullshit. But anyway, Oh my God, they kept going on and on. Did they really need to go this much? She's currently staying in the primaries in South Carolina and will return home after she blah, 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 blah. The president, who's recently recovered from his own case of stupid 19, continues to test negative, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said on Twitter. She added twice for some reason, because this is CNN and they like to emphasize. She added that President Biden will follow U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidance, also known as the CDC, on close contacts and wear masks for 10 days when indoors and in close proximity to others. He will also increase the president's testing cadence and report those results. Yeah, because, if he gets it again in February of 2023 as scheduled. Oh, did I say that out loud? He may not survive it. I don't know. President Biden is okay. All right, that's it. He's tested whatever, yada yada yada. Enough about them. I'm tired of all of them, and may she live a long and healthy life. Good morning, Jimmy from Philly's in the house. I don't know why I did that, Jimmy, but welcome. Also, good morning to Faximore Meyer, QBD, a.k.a. FX on the show. Hello, FX. Nice to see you. And Brent Hayes is in the house. Jill Biden is guilty of elder abuse. Is she? Yeah, Jill propping up Brandon. By definition, she's worse. Oh. Well, you can make that argument. Matt Fields is in the house, too? I don't see Matt Fields. Where did Matt Fields go? Are you... what? I didn't see Matt Fields here. Okay, well, hi, Matt Fields, who's hiding somewhere. And also, good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Nice to have you here. All right. Uncommon cold equal the flu. Oh, I was going to tell you about my experience with the coof. Because remember, I got the coof in the first year, before there were vaccines. And the protocol, this was the protocol in Minnesota, and they apparently were following CDC guidelines. So when they said that, Jill is following the CDC guidance and protocols, blah, 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 and taking some more government-funded pharmaceuticals. You know what the protocol was when I had the stupid 19? You know what they told me? Okay, because I'm like, I'm losing my sense of taste, and I'm get a little warm and whatnot. Said, go get tested. I got tested. You know what I did? You know what the protocol was in December of 2020 in Minnesota, following the CDC guidelines, the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines. Go home, and if you have for a few days, and if you have a hard time breathing, or go home and stay in your house for 2 weeks, and if you start feeling like it's tough to breathe, then call 911. Yeah, that's all. Just go home, stay in a room for 3 days, and stay home for 2 weeks. If you have a hard time breathing, call 911. Now, I had a mild case. I was there was no such thing as vaccinations at the time, because they had none that were being administered at the time. And I went home. I had one day where the fever got up a little high, and basically stayed home bored. You know what I never did, though? I probably could have applied to my employer and gotten paid for those 2 weeks. I never did that. I wonder if I could still do that. Didn't even think of it until just now. Because I'm pretty sure you could. Because I was one of those essential workers. And now in Minnesota, they're giving people who were essential workers, they're giving them money like as if they're like the federal government. And I'm like, well, you know what? The state of Minnesota can't print money. But anyway, they're giving some kind of tax rebate to essential workers, which you're going to pay taxes on again. So I didn't even bother. I missed the deadline because I didn't find out about it till the last minute. All right, this is not what I'm here to talk about. Shall we move on? Yes, we shall. Okay, so the reason I named the show, I was almost going to name it Bye, Bitch, but that wouldn't have been cool because, I don't have... I don't want to lie. I was going to say I don't have any animosity. I don't have any ill will. I don't have any hatred for Liz Cheney. But I think Liz Cheney's I just not like the whole Cheney family. I don't want anything to do with them. I'm glad they're going to be gone. Unless she runs for president, which is a possibility. Anyway. So there are Democratic primaries today. And a couple things trending on Twitter are related to not Democratic. I mean, excuse me. That was a little Freudian slip, wasn't it? I was talking about Liz Cheney and I said there was a Democratic primary, but that's not the case. Have you gotten boomer remover multiple times yet? I don't know what that means. Black Hebrew Israelite. I don't know what that means. Wait, she is definitely kind of... Jill Biden's all right, you know? I mean, she's an old lady, but she's, you know, she's all right. Anyway, so we're talking about the state elections, primary elections coming up. And today, a couple of interesting ones. One, Wyoming. Now, there's a couple of things trending on Twitter today because of the Wyoming primary. The first one is, of course, Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney's trending today. And the Associated Press has a little blurb here from 1 hour ago. Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney, a leader in the Republican resistance to former President Donald Trump, is fighting to save her seat in the U.S. House on Tuesday as voters weigh in on the direction of the GOP. Now that's very interesting. That's very interesting. No, I'm not into raisins. I'm just saying. I see a 71-year-old Joe Biden. I think, you know, she was probably very attractive at one time. And she's for a 71-year-old, she looks good. I'm not gonna lie. She's not an ugly woman. He could have done a lot worse. Anyway, back to Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney braces for loss as Trump tested in Wyoming and Alaska. Because the Alaska has their primaries today too, right? Oh, I got it. Stupid 19's boomer remover. Wait, so have you gotten boomer remover multiple times yet? No, I had it once, and like many what's the word I'm finding here? Many of the participants in the original version of Stupid 19, I believe that my natural bodily functions of creating antibodies and natural immunity or naturally acquired immunity has been quite effective since then. In fact, I've been around other people who've had the Stupid 19. My lovely wife, Lady Boomer, also had the Stupid 19, and I have not had another even hint of it again. And I hope I don't before my trip, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, Liz Cheney braces for loss as Trump tested in Wyoming, Alaska. Here's how the AP is spinning or writing. And it's fascinating because when they call her a leader in the Republican resistance to former President Donald Trump, they make her sound like a hero. Just that sentence. Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney, a leader in the Republican resistance to former President Donald Trump, is fighting to save her seat in the U.S. House on Tuesday as voters weigh in on the direction of the GOP. Well, No. Wyoming voters are already not happy with their representative who's not representing them well as far as they're concerned, and she's going to lose unless the 30,000 Democrats registered in Wyoming all come out and vote for her and the Republicans don't show up. But I don't think that's going to happen. Cheney's team is bracing for a loss, a big loss, against a Trump-backed challenger in a state in which he won by the largest of margins during the 2020 campaign. Win or lose, the 56-year-old daughter of Vice President Darth Vader is vowing to remain in national politics as she contemplates a 2024 presidential bid. But in the short term, Cheney is facing a dire threat from Republican opponent Harriet Hageman, a Cheyenne ranching industry attorney who has harnessed the full fury of the Trump movement in her bid to expel Cheney from the House. That's some pretty dramatic words they use in there, isn't it? And that's some pretty dramatic words, I'm telling you. Quote, I am still hopeful that the polling numbers are wrong, quote, said Landon Brown, a Wyoming state representative and vocal Cheney ally. It'll be a crying shame if she does lose. It shows just how much of a stranglehold that Donald Trump has on the Republican Party. So y'all realize she's polling like 30 points behind Hageman. And he's saying, I'm still hopeful that the polling numbers are wrong. What do you think the margin of error on most polls is? Like, even a bad poll would have a margin of error of like maybe, well, let's just say the average probably would be between 3 and 6%, right? And she's down 30. And this numbnuts is saying, I'm still hopeful that the polling numbers are wrong. Now that would be some serious, like Sirius XM wrong. Or I should say Sirius XL wrong, like extra large wrong. Anyway, today's contest, Wyoming and Alaska, offer one of the final tests for Trump and his brand of hardline politics. Oh, he's only been really in politics for 6 years, so I'm not sure what his brand of hardline politics is. He just endorsed some people, and they just happen to be winning like 96-3 or something like that of people he's endorsed. Anyway, ahead of the November general election, so far the former president has largely dominated the fight to shape the GOP in his image, having helped install loyalists. See the language they're using? Loyalist. They're making him out to be a dictator. In key general election matchups from Arizona to Georgia to Pennsylvania. This week's contests come just 8 days after the FBI executed a search warrant at Trump's Florida state, recovering 11 sets of classified records and his passports, by the way. We talked about that yesterday. Blah, blah, blah. In Alaska, let's go to Alaska. Oh, the Republican Party rallied behind the former president, although the reaction turned somewhat mixed as more details emerged. Oh. In Alaska, a recent change to state election laws gives a periodic Trump critic, U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski, an opportunity to survive the former president's wrath, even after she voted to convict him in his second impeachment trial. The top 4 primary Senate candidates in Alaska, regardless of party, will advance to the November general election, where voters will rank them in order of preference. So they do ranked choice voting in Alaska? I didn't know that. In all, 7 Republican senators and 10 Republican House members joined every Democrat in supporting Trump's impeachment. Now, why is that important in this story? Because they like to say it. They like saying that shit. You know what I mean? Just 2 of the 10 House members have won their GOP primaries this year. The rest have lost or declined to seek re-election. Cheney would be just the 3rd to return to Congress if she defies expectations on Tuesday. That ain't happening. And Murkowski is the only pro-impeachment senator running for re-election this year. She faces 18 opponents, most prominent of which is Republican Kelly Tshibaka, who has been endorsed by Trump. In her push to preserve the seat she has held for nearly 20 years, Trump railed against Murkowski on social media and in her home state of Alaska, where he hosted a rally with Tshibaka last month in Anchorage. That's going to be the most interesting one. Will Alaskans dump Murkowski? Because it's almost a given that the Republican will win the general election, even though they do the 4 whatever voter runoff. But will Murkowski be saved? I don't know. And listen to this language. This article. Who wrote this shit? Someone named, who's the writer? Oh, Steve Peoples and Mead Groover, whoever they are. I don't recognize their names. I sometimes recognize the writers of these articles. But here's how they finish this article. Or is this the finish? No, that's another. It's not the finish. But listen to this. This language just cracks me up. In contrast to vulnerable Republican candidates who cozied up to Trump in other states this summer, Murkowski continues to promote her bipartisan credentials. Oh, isn't she special? Quote, when you get the ideas from both sides coming together, a little bit of compromise in the middle, this is what lasts beyond administrations, beyond changes in leaderships. The Republican senator said in a video post on social media over the weekend, this is what allows for stability and certainty, and it comes through bipartisanship. Yeah, I was thinking that too. If you look at the what is it called? The Inflation Reduction Act, that was a huge bipartisan effort. Boy, they got them 50 Democrat senators to all vote for it, and not a single Republican vote for it. There's your bipartisan effort. Of course, okay, let me just say something about that too. So the stupid Inflation Reduction Act passed, and the president's going to become signing it today because the House they approved the Senate version. Do you think that if there was not a 50-50 Senate, let's say the Republicans held the Senate 52-48, do you think that senators like Lisa Murkowski, Rob Portman, is he still a senator? I don't know. Who the usual stuff, the Mitt Romneys of the world. Do you think for 1 second that those Republicans who are usually kind of wishy-washy on these things, do you think for 1 second they would have voted against the Inflation Reduction Act? Because these are politicians, right? And you know damn well, because they were given an out by the fact that they knew all 50 Democrats were going to vote for it, and Kamala would be that tie-breaking vote on that bill. I don't believe that. I think even if there were 53, 54 Republican senators, that bill would have still passed because of bullshit like what Lisa Murkowski just said. They had a safe way to vote against it because they're up for re-election. Because the voters in their states probably are like, you motherfucker better not vote for this shit. You're out. But they did because they were able to, because it was a 50-50 Senate. That's the only reason they voted for it. Or, voted against it. Lisa Murkowski's full of shit. I'm just saying. Anyway, on the other side of the GOP tent, Sarah Palin, too. The former Alaskan governor and vice presidential nominee hopes to spark a political comeback on Tuesday. Endorsed by Trump, she finished first among 48 candidates to qualify for a special election seeking to replace Representative Don Young, who died in March at age 88 after 49 years as Alaska's lone House member. Palin is actually on Tuesday's ballot twice, once in a special election to complete Young's term and another for a full 2-year House term starting in January. She's running against Republican Nick Begich and Democrat Mary Patola in the special election and a larger field in the primary. Even an outsider, Palin spent recent days attacking Murkowski, a fellow Republican, and those who instituted the open primary and ranked choice voting system in 2000. I've said all along that ranked choice voting was designed to benefit Democrats and rhinos, specifically Senator Murkowski, who stood no chance of winning a Republican nomination, along with other political dynasty family members in Alaska. Palin wrote in a recent statement calling for the law's repeal. Anyway, back in Wyoming, Chang's political survival may depend on persuading enough Democrats to cast ballots in her Republican president or primary election. Look, that ain't happened. Look, in Wyoming, it's a small state. I think there's 200. Someone showed me these numbers the other day. There's 275,000 registered Republicans, and there's about 40,000 registered Democrats. It's a heavily Republican state. Unless none of those, less than a fifth of those Republicans showed up, and some voted for Cheney, and then they got all the Democrats to vote in the Republican primary instead of the Democratic primaries because Democratic primaries lost cause. They're still not going to get rid of Cheney. I don't think so. I saw some of the chat say, it's going to be 51-49. Avocados. She's going to win 51-49. I don't think so. She's down 30. It would be it. I mean, it's not even. I can't even say like Rocky Balboa comeback because it wouldn't be. That's not really a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. It would be. I don't know. we'll see if she wins, like, 50-49. I will definitely call shenanigans. I'm sorry. I just won't believe it. Anyway, so this goes on and on and on. Holy shit. This is a long AP article. I'm going to keep reading it because I want to see what other crap they come up with. So I hope I'm not boring you here. Back away, Cheney's political survival may depend on persuading enough Democrats to cast ballots in a Republican primary election. While some Democrats have rallied behind her, it's unclear whether there are enough in the state to make a difference. Biden earned just 26% of Wyoming's vote in 2020. Many Republicans in the state and the country have essentially excommunicated Cheney because of her outspoken criticism of Trump. The House GOP ousted her as number 3 House leader last year, and more recently, the Wyoming GOP and Republican National Committee censured her. Anti-Trump groups such as Anti-Trump groups such as U.S. Representative Adam Kinzinger's Country First PAC. Wait a minute. Aren't these the same people who criticize the idea of America First? What's the difference between America First and Country First? Oh, I bet they mean over country over party. Well, it's still America, dipshit. And the Republican Accountability Project, which is an offshoot of Project Lincoln, have worked to encourage independents and Democrats to support Cheney in recent weeks. They are clearly delusional. Oh, that doesn't say that. It says that they are clearly disappointed by the expected outcomes of Tuesday's election, although some are hopeful about her political future. As a lobbyist and a think tank member, that's all it's going to be. She's going to join Project Lincoln when she gets removed from office. What's remarkable is that the face of almost certain defeat, she's never once wavered, or in the face, said Sarah Longwell, executive director of the Republican Accountability Project. We've been watching a national American figure be forged. It's funny how small the election feels. The Wyoming election, because she feels bigger than it now. Well, she's mighty self-important there, isn't she? Cheney has seemingly welcomed defeat by devoting almost every resource at her disposal to ending Trump's political career since the insurrection. She emerged as a leader in the congressional committee investigating Trump's role in the January 6th attack, giving the Democrat-led panel genuine bipartisan credibility. No, it does not give it genuine bipartisan credibility. It's Democrats and two anti-Trump Republicans. That's not bipartisan. That means nothing. Just because they're in different parties doesn't mean they have an effort to have a full-throated, fair, balanced, whatever. They all have the same purpose because of their hate for the guy with the funny hair. Got it? Fucking morons. Anyway, she has devoted the vast majority of her time to the committee instead of the campaign trail back home because she's got no chance. A decision that still fuels murmurs of disapproval among some Wyoming allies. And she has closed out the primary campaign with an unflinching anti-Trump message. Quote, in our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who was a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. That's Dick Cheney who said that shit. Oh my God, Darth Vader speaks.
Use the Force, Luke. In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who has been a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
He continued, there is nothing more important she will ever do than lead the effort to make sure that Donald Trump is never again near the Federation.
Okay, so FTG. Liz Cheney. Anyway, so that got another thing trending. And this was funny. What was the one I used? I said, don't go away mad. I was having some Motley Crue flashbacks. Girl, don't go away mad. Just go away. But it seems like Twitter has decided that a Hall & Oates vibe was more important. She's Gone is trending. She's gone. No, I never heard on, baby. She's gone. She's gone. Now, somebody said, oh, God. Now, this is a weird meme. She's gone to lick his balls one more time. What? Oh, because they're fucking with Lindsey Graham. So She's Gone is trending. That was an unfortunate. I should always check before I put these on the screen. She's Gone is trending, which means even Twitter knows that it's Liz Cheney's time to become a lame duck in Congress. True, Tim Young. She's gone. Okay, this is some Witches Truth broadcast with a transgender flag. She's Gone shouldn't even be a thing. This isn't about party. What happened on January 6th was an attack on our democracy. Anyone who isn't a sheep sees this. Look, it was a riot with some dickheads, fighting with police and other dickheads that were glowing, helping aid the thing. By the way, I saw a really interesting video that we haven't seen yet of how those doors in the Congress are magnetically, they're these magnetic doors, right? There's these super powerful magnets and you cannot open those doors. They will withstand probably a winch and not a winch, a winch. And so there's this video from the inside of one of the doors where they started letting people in on January 6th. And there's this guy that comes down there and he's supposedly one of the protesters, but there's no one at the door and there's a bunch of people outside. But he comes down there and he goes to open the door and he can't open it. And then he looks here. I can't demonstrate this if I'm not on the screen. And then he looks back up like at a camera, right? And he points at the camera. He waves at the camera and he points at the door. And then he goes back to try the door again and somebody had unlocked the door. But he's pointing up at like a control room, right? And someone unlocked the door. And so then he opens the door and then some security guys come running and he stops the security guys. He starts talking to them and then they kind of back off. It's really fascinating. I wonder if I bookmarked that. I should see. Did I bookmark that? Let me go over here a second. I don't know that I did. Maybe I did. It's really weird. No, I don't think I did. I should have. Yeah, it doesn't look like it did. But anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. But yeah, so it was clear that though this guy that's supposedly he's a protester, right? How does a protester look back up at the thing and say, "Hey, this needs to be unlocked," and then they unlock it, and the security guy. Then he talks to security guys. They kind of back off. It's just strange, and they don't like to show that video. I'll find that for another day. Let's see. But anyway, so She's Gone is trending on Twitter. She's gone. No, Lisa Murkowski. Oh, Lisa Murkowski's Truth Social Gabby 14. What? I don't know what that means. Oh my God. Looks like she's gone. Liz Cheney. Oh, so a lot of the blue people, the blue wave people, are kind of pissed about the fact that Liz Cheney has got to be gone, and it's kind of funny listening to them too. Someone named Tony Blue Wave says, "Looks like she's gone. Liz Cheney in Wyoming is facing a primary defeat against Harriet Hageman, Trump's bootlicker." Well, Cheney is the January 6th committee and raised many with her criticism of treasonous Trump. treasonous. Yes, he's treasonous. Looks like MAGA supporters and Republicans support their liar cult leader. Oh. You can't hurt me with those words. Sorry there, Mr. Blue Wave, whatever your name is. Let's see. Here's it is, the Good Trouble show with Matt Ford. Good Trouble show. She's gone but not forgotten. Liz Cheney of Wyoming stood up for the Constitution and paid the political price. If you've ever wondered how fascists transform a political party and a nation, look no further than Donald Trump. And then this. Oh, let's see what this is. Okay, so yeah, that technology kind of is creepy, where they can take a photo and make it sing. Here's it is again. That's creepy. She's gone soon. That will be a reference to the traitor, bitch. That is the Republican Party. Because America is pissed and getting their asses to the poll no matter what. Maybe to the stripper pole. Let's see. Guys, it's premature, but it's also a little heartless for she's gone to trend. Okay, calm down. Yeah, it's not trending because of Joe Biden. Don't say that. Come on now. Anyway, there's a lot of people. Also trending, though, I'm not going to stick to this because there's more. Also trending is Lisa Murkowski. Liz Cheney, Lisa Murkowski, and Sarah Palin are all on the ballot. And Tuesday, as primary voters in Wyoming and Alaska go to the polls. We already talked about that. And when they say the polls, no, they don't mean the stripper pole, because that would be gross. George W. Bush maxed out. Oh, this is interesting, though. George W. Bush, what is it, 43, right? 43? Yeah, Bush 43. Maxed out political donations to Liz Cheney and Lisa Murkowski. So he loves the old swamp rats. The Bush family stands with the swamp, not the people. And the Calvin Coolidge Project. If you're a Republican and you vote for Lisa Murkowski, then you are not a Republican. Lisa Murkowski isn't completely terrible, but I just don't think that maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. 20 years is long enough. So. But that name, though, in Alaska carries a lot of weight. You'd have to know. Some blue wave guy, Lisa Murkowski, Truth Social, Gabby 14, FBI. Okay, she's gone. So anyway, the Lisa Murkowski tweets are not quite as venomous as the ones for Liz Cheney. While we're all excited that Rhino Liz is going down today, don't forget another one roams in Alaska, Lisa Murkowski, and she needs to go as well. The Bush dynasty is all in for her, is all you need to know as to why. I can't completely argue with that. Anyway, and then also Sarah Palin is trending. Now, I'm sure that they'll be just all kind and nice to Sarah Palin because, I don't know if you know much about Sarah Palin before she ran for vice president with, the guy that, the Vietnam War hero, John McCain, right? The Maverick. When she ran for vice president was as Maverick's running mate. Before she was vice president, she was a very, very, very popular governor in the state of Alaska. But because she ran for vice president with the complete racist, sexist John McCain, as he was known when he ran for president, and that's the only time they would call him that, because if you run for president as a Republican, you're automatically racist and sexist. Then they tried to make a joke out of her because here's the one thing that they constantly say. They tell the joke about, oh, I can see Russia from my house, which is something that she never said. Did you know that? She never said those words. Tina Fey, pretending to be Sarah Palin, said those words. Sarah Palin's point, what she actually said is that, you can see parts of Russia from parts of Alaska. The Alaska governor has a very specific duty in the defense of the United States because there is, they get special top secret protocols because of the Air Force bases in Alaska that monitor certain movements of military stuff in Russia. So the Alaska governor gets special briefings that other governors don't have. And her point was that you can, from some places in Alaska, see some parts of Russia in the winter. When the strait freezes over, you can probably walk to Russia. And so that was her point. And so, but the dipshits, well, not Saturday Night Live, their job is to be funny, which they fail at miserably. They made the joke that she said, "Oh, I can see Alaska from my house." And that stuck. And that was one of those things of making her to be a dippy doodle dipshit. And she's actually fairly intelligent. Now, granted, her style sounds like she comes from Fargo. And so that is very different than the hoity-toity elites from California and New York and the coast and the Washington group. And she just has a folksy way of talking that is more natural to people who are in some of us people from smaller states. They couldn't handle it. They tried to play her as dumb, and she's not dumb. She's just kind of, I don't know, whatever. Fun fact, the easternmost part of Russia is actually a part of North America, not Asia. Yeah, then I suppose some of those islands would be over there, right? Anyway, Sarah Palin, the big story is Sarah Palin attempts a political comeback. Now, I'm going to read the Washington Examiner. The Washington Examiner is a publication that tends to kind of, it's not necessarily, it has a little bit of both left and right opinions in it. And it's not like the Washington Free Beacon or, Washington Times, which I don't even know if the Washington Times exists anymore. Sarah Palin attempts a political comeback in Alaska House race. Sarah Palin will attempt a political... Okay, I hate it when they do the tweet, the title, and the first line are all the same. The first line. Sarah Palin will attempt a political comeback Tuesday in Alaska's at-large U.S. House race more than a decade after she left the state's governor's mansion. Despite the support of former President Donald Trump, her name recognition in Alaska, a win for Palin is far from guaranteed. Palin ran unsuccessfully as vice president for the late Senator John McCain's running mate in 2008 and resigned as governor the following year before finishing her single term. After the death of Alaska's longtime GOP Representative Don Young earlier this year, Palin entered the race for Alaska's only House seat with Trump's backing and in a so-called jungle primary that's attracted dozens of candidates. Young held the... Where'd that go? It just flipped on me again. I hate it when that does that. Young held the seat for nearly 5 decades, most of Alaska's entire history as a state. Yeah, because Alaska's only been around since 1949. The race isn't just a test case for Palin, but also for Alaska's new ranked choice voting system, which allows 4 candidates to advance from a primary election. The special election and its primary were the first elections under the new system in which voters rank candidates in their order of preference rather than simply choosing one candidate. The last place candidates are eliminated with their voter subsequent choices, then going on to the next. Stop moving around. The next choices tally. The process goes on for as many rounds as it takes until one candidate reaches 50% plus one vote threshold and is declared the winner. The special election includes Republican businessman Nick Begich III and Democrat Mary Patola, as well. Independent candidate Al Gross, who also emerged from the primary, said shortly thereafter that he would withdraw. Although Palin placed first in the primary, the late July polling suggests that her path to Congress will not be smooth. In a field narrowed down to 3 candidates, a poll by Alaska survey researchers found that Palin was trailing their rivals as voters' first choice, with Patola at 41%, Begich at 30%, Palin at 29%. But in a race narrowed down to 2 candidates, Begich leads Patola while Palin trails her. So I don't know. It's not likely that she will win there. I don't know. She might. Who knows? All right. Then the other things that are trending, apprehended are trending because the GOP, what did the GOP tweet today? and this is, I find some humor in this whole thing, the way that people are playing this. So the GOP tweeted late last night, or yesterday afternoon, breaking news. In July, 199,976 illegal immigrants were apprehended attempting to cross the U.S.-Mexican border. Hashtag Biden border crisis. Now, the argument that many are making or tweeting at the GOP for doing this is like, gee, 199,976 people were apprehended, which means the Biden administration is doing their job, right? In fact, is this still here? Okay. Oh, this is the wrong one. Here, apprehended. So, anyway, they're chirping at the GOP. Oh, they were apprehended. Apprehended doesn't mean they didn't let them come in. You know how when they say apprehended and then they release them for trial dates? And that's almost more than the entire last 2 years combined of people crossing the border. Now, if they apprehended 199,000, imagine how many got through unapprehended. Capiche? That's all I got to say about that. Let's move on. Also trending today. Oh, this is it. Oh, see, what the fuck does apprehend mean to you? The people who piss themselves with glee as migrant babies were torn from their mother's arms because they broke the law are out here telling us that Donald Trump should get a mulligan for stealing nuclear secrets and for doing God knows fucking what's with them. Fucking hypocrites. Torn from the mother's arms. They don't know if they were their mothers. Anyway. Could someone, let's see. All right. So I don't know what that has to do anything with this, but anyway, finally, let's finish up with this because, this is a Wall Street Journal opinion that from yesterday that fascinated me, mainly because I believe I made this point last Monday. Was it last Monday? When was the raid on Donald Trump's house? Wasn't it maybe it was last Tuesday. Allegedly Sarah Palin had a fling with basketball star Glenn Rice in college. Did you hear about that? You know, I did not hear about that. I know she played college basketball. I can't remember where, but I did not know that she might have had a fling with Glenn Rice. It's possible. I'd have to look that one up. All right, so here's the article in the opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal that I found fascinating because it asks some questions that I think are important. More than a week after the morning FBI raid on Donald Trump's Florida home, the White House continues to insist Joe Biden knew nothing about it. Now, when they said that, my ears perked up because this was an unprecedented raid on a former president's home. The idea that they would not notify the White House is not just incredulous, it is bullshit. Bullshit.
Why the fuck you lying?
So anyway, many find it hard to swallow, as I do. Not least Mr. Trump. On his website, Truth Social, he wrote, Biden knew all about this, just like he knew all about Hunter's deals. Nevertheless, the White House insists that no one in the West Wing knew that Attorney General Merrick Garland and the FBI would be willing to break with more than 2 centuries of precedent without so much as a heads up to Chief of Staff Ron Klain. There is, however, an argument for it, really, because presidential ignorance here, or at least the pretense of it, serves as a useful political game. And it isn't finished playing out. When the media began asking questions last Tuesday, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said, the president and the White House learned about this FBI search from public reports. This is CNN. We learned just like the American public did yesterday. That's an Obama tactic.
I really didn't know about it. I just heard about it when I was watching the news this morning. I opened the paper and there it was. I didn't know about those guns over that they sold down in Mexico. We just didn't know. So I heard about it at the same time you're hearing about it.
Yeah, bullshit. We learned just like the American people did. We did not have advance notice of this activity. Ms. Jean-Pierre went on to say that the president has been very clear, let me be very clear, that the Justice Department conducts investigations independently. Oh, that's so sweet. Here's the capper. Quote, I'm just not going to comment on any reaction to what happened yesterday. We are going to refer any incoming to the Department of Justice. She repeated that several times in response to different questions about the raid. Notwithstanding Mr. Garland's presser Thursday, the Justice Department hasn't been forthcoming with key details because the Mar-a-Lago search is part of an continuing criminal investigation, which means the American people get no answers from anyone. Whatever this is, it isn't the way that the framers thought about making democratic government accountable to the people. Contrary to what Mr. Biden seems to believe, the authors of the Constitution never envisioned anyone in the government being independent except from the other branches. Certainly, we hope the raid fulfilled the objective criminal and statutory requirements. This is the Wall Street Journal, by the way, and wasn't instigated for partisan reasons by the White House. Good luck on that one. We can all imagine what would happen if a president abused his power by badgering his attorney general to harass political enemies and go easy on political friends.
Or their offspring.
Mr. Trump was himself often accused of this when he was president. Was he now? A politicized Justice Department isn't what anyone wants. Wrong. That's a lie. It's exactly what the Democrats want. But the flip side to this, do Americans really want an unelected attorney general making the unprecedented decision to send 30 FBI agents to the home of a former president and possible presidential candidate without at least running it by his boss, the sitting president? Given how extraordinary the move was, wouldn't a president want to have it run past him first, especially when it comes to, as it does, against the backdrop of the FBI and Justice Department having lost the trust of millions of Americans by their actions of the past few years? FBI agents were caught making highly unflattering remarks about Mr. Trump and his supporters while pursuing a case against him based on a fake dossier fed to them by the Hillary Clinton campaign. I repeat, fed to them by the Hillary Clinton campaign. Not to mention, one FBI official admitted the doctoring of an email submitted to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act court to help make the case that Trump campaign advisor Carter Page was a Russian agent. And he's not in jail. Unbelievable. Anyway, it's true that in the years since our founding, many barnacles have grown on the original understanding of the constitutional independence. Independent counsels, inspector generals, and the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court are a few of the more recent contributions, which should all go away. Well, maybe not inspector generals and independent counsels, but that FISA court, that needs to go away. But the record of these unelected overseers is dubious. In some cases, they might have improved accountability, but in others, they have eroded it. Take the FISA court. The Carter Page warrant shows that it effectively insulates officials who deploy the most formidable powers of the federal government from the consequences of what should be an extraordinary decision, spying on a fellow American. Without a judge to give them cover, FBI agents and justice officials would be far more responsible for their actions. In some ways, this is another expression of the growing administrative state. The swamp. Today, there exist dozens of agencies not really under the president's control, making executive decisions that affect the lives and livelihoods of millions of ordinary Americans. When they are interpreting a question about which Congress was either ambiguous or silent, they effectively make law. The cry is thus that unelected bureaucrats are exercising unchecked power against Americans, but that's only half the story. The dirty secret is that many of the elective office holders whose authority is being usurped don't complain, because it also means that they can get what they want done without assuming any of the political costs. It's kind of like the Department of Education making rules, and that means Congress doesn't have to vote on the rules. Eliminate the Department of Education. It's the same with politicians who wink at activist courts usurping their lawmaking functions because they agree with the outcome and are spared any of the political heat. Abortion, anybody? Maybe what President Biden says is true. He and everyone else in the White House had no idea that the FBI was executing a search on Mar-a-Lago until they saw it on television, just like every other American. Bullshit. If so, that's even more disturbing. All right. And on that note, people, I'm calling it a day. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock. Wait, stop! Don't do it! Stop! Wait! Oh, hold up! Don't click that. Don't click that. If you haven't clicked the like button, don't click that button. Just because I'm finishing this up doesn't mean you're done with your responsibilities. Hope I didn't scare anybody. Anyway, I'm here Monday through Friday. Hit the bell and on the notifications so you get notifications. Put a comment in the comment section. If you're watching a replay, hit the like button. Share the stream before, during, and after the show. And you can sponsor the show 24 hours a day at pdognight.live. If you want to put a message on here for me to read, I will read it. That is the what does it call it? Prioritized chat system. Also, we also do that through super chats. If you don't mind giving Susan 30%, and a couple of other ways down below. Thank you to Chicago Mike for sponsoring the show today. You are awesome. And everyone who participates in the chat and just sits around here listening to me, I appreciate every single one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Time to go. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.